Hello, and welcome to the Telus City Historical Society Museum. My name is Chris Kale, and I will be giving you your virtual tour of our museum. Let's begin. We'll start off with the gift shop area of our museum. This area here, you will find DVDs and books. Proceeds from these sales help support our museum. First up on the ground floor, you will notice this large 7-foot tall rocker that was made by the Telus City Chair Company. Actually, 3 of these rockers were produced. One here at the Telus City Historical Society, the other at the Telus City Depot, and unfortunately, the third one was destroyed. Moving along through our museum, on the left, the first item you'll notice is this large red item. What is this large red item? It actually was used to put out fires in early days of Telus City. On each end, there's a handlebar that was used to pump water out of cisterns or wells to help extinguish fires. First up, you'll notice this wall of photos. This wall of photos depicts early buildings and residents in Telus City. Some of these buildings are still in existence today, while others are not. Just above this, you'll notice Telus City's flag. As we approach the next wall, this wall is dedicated to the Telus City Police Department. Next up is Telus City's mayor, starting with our first mayor, Mr. August Schreiber. Down to our current mayor, myself, Chris Kell. Next to this, you'll notice pictures for the Telus City Fire Department. As we proceed through the museum, you'll notice this display case. This display case has in it early deeds from the Swiss Colonization Society. The Swiss Colonization Society was the ones who formed Telus City. Next up, we have a display case here for Telus City's early groups and organizations. Organizations such as the Moose Lodge, Knights of Pythias, Odd Fellows, VFW, American Legion, and other groups and organizations. Just directly across from this display case is another display case that actually has music in it. Most notably, the original handwritten score for We Are Mighty Proud of You by Dixie Davis. The next area in the Historical Society is dedicated to our river and churches. Early steamboats, floods, and other river activities. Next, we come up to the churches in Telus City. One item to make note of is the clock hands off the original St. Paul's Church tower. Directly across from that is a display case for Telus City's JCs. Next up, we have a display for the Telus City Schweizerfest. The next area is dedicated to Telus City businesses. There are several items worth noting in here. Items such as this. This is an early film projector from the Telus City Cinema. Videos are now all digital, so these type of machines are obsolete. Moving down, you'll notice this bench. This bench is from Jacob Rowland of Rowland's Jewelry. Directly across from all that is a display of advertising items from businesses throughout the years. Next up is an area dedicated to Telus City banks. You notice here former presidents of banks, as well as a display case on banks, adding machines, original paper money, and other items. Next up, we have a picture album of Telus City that someone could flip through and check out early photos of Telus City's history. This area is dedicated to Tell City's military. As we proceed through the museum, you'll notice another display here on Tell City's Schweizerfest. More specifically in this picture, the Tell City's Centennial and the Swiss flag. Next up is Tell City Schools. Here you'll see different items from class jackets to band uniforms, graduation photos, yearbooks, and other items. If you're looking for something fun to do, it's always great to come in the museum. We do allow our visitors to check out and sit and read our yearbooks. The next area we have in the museum is dedicated to our doctors. You'll notice one item new here is Dr. Jean Ress in early dentistry. Some of you may remember these devices. The next area is dedicated to sports in Tell City. And again, in this area, you'll see various uniforms, photos, and other items. One item to make note of is of the floor from the Brian Taylor Sports Arena when they replaced the gymnasium floor. As we head downstairs to our Historical Society, this area is dedicated to Tell City's industry. As you come in on your right, it starts off with Tell City Chair. Tell City Chair was one of Tell City's most notable industries here, producing millions of chairs. One very notable chair is this gold chair here on the end. This chair was produced, again, by Tell City Chair Company for the White House, back during John F. Kennedy's administration. Directly across from that wall, again, is more items for Tell City Chair Company. One item that a lot of our visitors are fascinated by are these items. A lot of people can't really guess what they are. A lot of kids think that they are either a candle holder or some type of a jar, but they're actually wagon hubs. And I'll explain that again later, hopefully. Another item worth noting in our museum is this workbench. Again, this workbench came from the Tell City Chair Company. And on it right now is several ledgers from one of the furniture factories. Another unique item to the Historical Society is the Tell City Chair whistle. Many of you may remember hearing this whistle as you grew up. For those of you who don't remember it, it was a loud whistle that would blow when it was time to start your shift, go to lunch, come back from lunch, and time to go home. And at various other times. In this display case, it has Tell City's early bottles. Items from Coca-Cola to Krogman, Tell City beer, and even milk. Across from it is a display for Tell City pretzels, still in production today. And what is a propeller blade doing in the Historical Society? Well, it's very interesting that at one time we tried to produce hydroplanes here. Hydroplanes are planes that would take off on the water. Unfortunately, this was not very successful. And then we have a display for the U.S. Brick Company, or Tell City Bricks. Many of Tell City's early buildings and homes are constructed from these bricks. We also have a display for Maxon Marine. Directly across from that, you'll notice this device. Kind of strange looking, but it's actually an early washing machine. But it actually tore up more people's clothes than it washed. And then you'll notice our current industry, such as Wapaka, ATTC Manufacturing, Malzer's Crushed Stone, Parker Hannafin, and other companies. And here's an area devoted to GE. Of course, GE started out making TV tubes and then into electric motors. One noted, famous person that visited GE was Ronald Reagan. He didn't visit here as president, but later became president. He visited here as an actor, part of GE TV. Let's head up to the second floor of the Historical Society, our genealogy area. As you go to the second floor, you'll notice this painting. This painting is of William Tell and his son, where he shot the apple off his son's head. This painting originally hung in the William Tell Hotel and was removed just before demolition. It was painted by artisan Nielsen Wilson. On the second floor, you'll notice various filing cabinets and shelves full of books. And many of these books are Tell City's history. These Japanese boxers have always intrigued a lot of people, and they're actually from Dr. Ernest Morawick. Dr. Ernest Morawick was a second-class passenger on the Titanic. And if you all know the story of the Titanic and how it hit the iceberg and sank, you know many of the passengers did not survive. And unfortunately, Dr. Ernest Morawick was one of those. At this time, I want to thank you all for allowing me to give you a virtual tour of the Historical Society and hope that you visit us in person in the near future. Thank you all and have a great day.